Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends. This one featuring, well, Cho'gath, I guess, by virtue of default. In this game, I'm going to be playing and jungling as Cho'gath. This is taken from one of our Wednesday YouTube night custom games. Alongside me is Hilariously playing as Lux. Jack on is good playing as Darius. Snatch, I think, playing as Tarek. I'm assuming that the other letters are not needed there. And also, who is our MF player, Jum931 playing as Misfortune. Now, you might notice right away that this attempting to reconnect thing is popping up. That is because this is not recorded in spectator mode. I don't have this recorded in spectator mode because the replays are very buggy right now, unfortunately. There have been all kinds of issues with the LoL replay client, and it was either run this in the non-spectator mode or not run it at all. So I figure it's better to record this even in a buggy non-spectator mode than to try and record it, then just not be able to record it at all. That or just have to use the feed from YouTube. Anyway, on the other side, on the other team, we have Igo Elmo playing as Thresh, and by the way, he's playing as AD Thresh. They do not have a traditional ranged AD. We also have IDK What Lol Means playing as Anivia, Jason Kim playing as Garen, J Fluent playing as Xinjiao, and Khop34 playing as Blitzcrank and playing as the support. So that's the setup for this game. What I was hoping to do was try to learn a little bit more about how to play jungle Cho'gath. Cho is a very popular jungler right now. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of that attempting to reconnect thing that will pop up constantly, and I can't really do anything to stop that. It'll just keep popping up over and over again all throughout this replay. As I said, these replays are a bit buggy. They are still trying to figure out everything to get them working correctly here in the Season 3 patches. So anyway, can't see in the fog, cannot watch the other team, can really only watch where my camera was focused while playing this game. So for example, stuff in other lanes like Darius up here will be rather buggy. Anyway, so what about Jungle Cho? I don't think I've done a Jungle Cho video. I'll talk a little bit about the Jungle Cho gameplay. For one thing, you start with his Vorpal Spikes, you start with his E, not with his Q or his W, and you max that first when you're jungling with Cho'gath. I'm going to start red, and then what I wanted to do was, I was hoping I could do a smiteless red. I was hoping that I could save smite, but I was hoping to get a little bit more damage from the teammates. When they left, I decided I'd go ahead and smite red, and then apparently, the cardinal sin, apparently I did not kill this lizard, so that's awesome jungling already here, by the way. Off to a rough start. Anyway, in terms of the laning matchups, up here we have Jack on is good playing as Darius against their Garen player. And again, note that the health bars are buggy. Again, this is going to be a bit rough if you're used to the very smooth spectator mode. He's playing against Jason Kim as Garen. In middle lane, it is Anivia being played by IDK What Lol Means against Hilariously. By the way, note that Blitzcrank was way up there, that Blitz was not in bottom lane. That's because he was involved in stealing my blue. Over here, my blue buff was already gone, just the little lizards were left. So that means that they have successfully stolen my blue buff. Anyway, I was coming up here to top lane, was hoping that I'd be able to get a gank onto Garen, but he's going to flash. And does Darius have his pull? No, does not appear to have his pull. So just needed to get a rupture, but unfortunately Darius went in just a little bit early. If he could have waited just a hair longer, I might have been able to be there, but was not able to. By the way, note that I am like 1 experience point away, 20 XP away from hitting level 3. That's because I didn't kill the small lizard at the red buff. And anyway, I was looking to try and go in and steal the race, but they were not up. Their jungler had already done them. Anyway, what this means is I'm basically behind their jungler. Their jungler went ahead and stole our blue buff, so he's going to get their blue and our blue along with his red. And that was just a nice play on their part. Now the counter for that, the trade-off for that is they left Thresh alone by himself down here in bottom lane. He didn't have his Blitzcrank support for a while, and that's allowed our bottom lane to get ahead here in this particular lane. So anyway, now I finally realized that this little lizard was still alive and go back to kill that. So it was like, ugh, what a shame. Anyway, so what about Jungle Cho? What are some of his strengths and weaknesses? His strength is he is pretty good at ganking when he has red buff. If he can get close to the enemy, he can keep applying his red buff slow. He has the rupture. If he can hit a rupture, then he is pretty good at ganking. Of course, it is a skill shot. You see me miss one right there. He also has that silence. The silence was nerfed in a recent patch down to 3 seconds at max rank, up from 2. Meanwhile, there is a fight going on down here in bottom lane. We were able to claim first blood, and now that exhaust has worn off, and Jump is going to get a double kill, and that was very good news for our team because up to this point in time, I was doing absolutely nothing in the jungle. I didn't achieve anything thus far. Attempted to come mid and gank, but didn't pull anything off. Now, meanwhile, I was looking to try to come back up here. I was hoping to be able to... My thought was I could maybe try to gank through lane and pull something off. Unfortunately, was pointed out to me by people watching on stream, I still didn't have boots. That meant I was really slow. That meant I couldn't really do that much. Garen's going to pop his movement speed, and I can't catch him. So this was kind of a waste of time. I would have been better off staying around mid. I would have been better off staying here because watch what's going to happen. Hilariously goes after the Anivia player, IDK what law means, and J Fluent is going to pop out from behind. He has the red buff. He can force that hard engage with his charge, and that's going to be a kill for them. So to this point in time, their jungler, J Fluent, has clearly out-jungled me to this point. I mean, we might have the same amount of minion kills, but he's gotten 2 buffs. He's gotten 2 blue buffs to this point in time, and he's also been able to actually gank a lane and get a kill, which I have not been able to do. I haven't even been able to pull off a flash yet. Have not been even able to get a flash down thus far. So I would have been better spent to stay around mid and keep farming until I was able to go back and buy boots. That would have been more useful. The good news is though that we were ahead in top lane. Or excuse me, were we ahead in top? Top's pretty even right now, but we were ahead in bottom lane. We were ahead in bottom lane to this point because Misfortune got that early double kill. So we're going to have to try to snowball this bottom lane as best we can, relying on the fact that Thresh is not a true AD, not a true ranged AD, and that he will not scale as well as Misfortune does. And especially now that Misfortune's gotten ahead, that's going to give her a big advantage. Alright, so I'm going to go back to base. I'm going to go ahead and buy first. Again, I was trying to mention what are strengths of Cho'gath as a jungler. He has great sustain. His carnivore passive means that he can stay really healthy while he's in the jungle. It also allows him to get really, really tanky once he starts to get his feast stacks. He has great dragon and baron control because he can feast the dragon or the baron. 1,000 true damage to monsters and minions. So he offers that control. He is very good at rushing a runic bulwark, and then just serving as sort of a really tanky aura bot for the team. He also brings a lot of crowd control. So he has a lot of advantages. Disadvantages are he's not that good at dueling, not so good at actually 1v1ing people. And, well, but we'll get back to that in a minute. But here, apparently our bottom lane did not see Xinjiao sweeping around. He's going to come in here. It's a nice stun from Taric onto Xinjiao, and that combined with some nice play is going to get them out of that. I really thought that they were going to end up getting killed because it was a nice job by J Fluent there, and there I'm going to miss another Rupture. By the way, this is not really how to play Jungle Cho. Spreakaway has played quite a bit of Jungle Cho, and he's kind of was giving me some advice while playing this game. You do better to try to get in close range, ideally, if you want to gank with Cho'gath. You can, of course, try to hit a long-range Rupture, and that's one way to try to pull off ganks, but what tends to work better is just having red buff, first of all, and then being able to run up close to the enemy. If you can have red buff, getting close to them, start auto-attacking, get the slow off. Once they're already slowed, then it becomes easy to hit the Rupture. So that is often more effective, and I'm going to mention that with my build order choices. That is why I picked up an early Philostone. This is like Season 2 jungle stuff, getting the early Philostone, and I'm going to turn that into Shirelia's later. And that'll allow me to have that gap closing to get close to the other team. Anyway, you might have noticed Darius has disconnected. So this is the game of the disappearing Darius. And oh, by the way, I've already lost my blue. Our blue again has already been stolen by the enemy team. They came in and did a really nice job of killing it right. They killed it initially, and then they killed it again when it respawned. So Darius, running back to base. Jack-on is good, is not here. So we're going to have to try and work around that, which means I have to cover this top lane. I really have no choice. If somebody on your team disconnects and the lane is uncovered, you have to cover that lane. It's more important to give up the jungle role and cover a lane than to leave a lane uncovered. Because why is that? Because there's more golden experience in the lanes than there are in the jungles. The lanes give you more gold and they give you more experience. So for right now, until Darius comes back, I have to start covering this lane. And the nice thing about that is Cho is, of course, a pretty good top laner. You will still see people play him in top lane. He's played more in jungle right now, but he is a pretty good top laner. Anyway, here Garen comes in and gets in some really nice harass. I just lost about half my health there. Could not use the defensive Rupture because he silenced me. Unfortunately, I cannot look at all of Garen's skills. I don't know them off the top of my head, but what the names of those skills are. So he was able to run in, hit the silence, then spin to win, And I could not rupture defensively because he had already silenced me, so I could not use my rupture. I just had to walk out of the way. Unfortunately, no boots, so not enough speed to really walk out of that. And he got in really good harassment damage. Anyway, this is not a fun situation. I'm sure some people have had to do this before. Not a great situation. Garen, 2 levels higher than me. He also has been farming a lane while I've been in the jungle, so 39 minion kills to his 43. Well, actually, he's not even that far ahead there. But he should be able to bully me around in this lane, just due to the fact that, well, I've been in the jungle and I've been getting less gold and less experience to this point in time. So my goal is just to keep this tower up as long as possible, keep crossing my fingers, hoping that Darius will come back. In the meantime, though, that means we do not have we don't have any dragon control, we don't have lane control. Here's a dive coming in bottom lane, and it looks like it was not successful. Is that Taric stun going to come out from Snatch? Is it going to come out? And nope, apparently not. Apparently not going to be able to follow this up. Oh, actually, there comes the pull. There we go. Taric gets 1 kill, and Jump is going to get the other kill. Now, here comes Xinjiao, so let's keep an eye on this. He does have blue buff. Is he going to engage here? Again, I can't see the name. There it is. There is the engagement. Does Taric have enough mana for a stun? There it is. There's the stun. And what in the world was that? Oh, the bugs in the replay client. Well, that was interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Anyway, so Darius is he's still chilling back here at base, and so once again that means I am having to lane against Garen, and Garen appears to be rushing Warmogs to this point in time. He has the Giant's Belt, he's got the Rejuve Bead and the Ruby Crystal, and it looks like he's coming, looks like he's just trying to stack health. Now, Garen does get armor and magic resistance through his abilities, so getting health is not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think that straight rushing Warmogs was really that necessary, and I don't think it was that strong of a build. I think if he had gone for something like a Brutalizer, that would have been much more effective. If he had rushed an early Brutalizer or something like that, he really, really would have just been able to destroy me because I'm so under-leveled in this particular situation. Again, he's level 9, I'm level 7, I'm way behind. Now, I will become increasingly tanky as I get feast stacks. That's one of the things I have to do is feast minions. That will give me more health. That'll make it easier for me to deal with Garen. And right there, I was actually trying to feast a minion. There is a half-second delay before you actually munch that down. But I need to get my feast stacks up just to survive this particular lane. We also, unfortunately, lack of having a jungler means that Jay Fluent just has free reign to gank other lanes. He ganked mid lane and ganked hilariously. And we also have no control over our jungle. They can invade and steal the red. They can invade and steal race. There's just not much we can do. I'm forced to cover this lane, or else we're going to lose this tower. We don't want that to happen. And I just get more golden experience if I'm in lane, as I said before. So we are going to need bot to keep winning. Bot has been winning to this point in time. Jump is 3-0. He is way ahead of Elmo in this lane, so that's a great sign for us. And we're going to need Hilariously to just survive the lane and farm as best he can. Again, their Anivia player, IDK what law means, has jungle pressure, whereas we have no jungle pressure. You can play super aggressively if you're in the position that their team is in. Like, they can see all 4 of our champions. All 4 of our champs are on the map. There's nobody out there lurking in the fog. So that's a really fun situation if you're in that particular spot. Like, you don't have to worry about a jungler coming in. You can push straight up to the enemy team's tower. You can be really aggressive. And in any case, so anyway, now I've got 3 feast stacks. That adds, what does it say? 90 maximum health, maximum 6 stacks. Is that 90 per stack? I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look back at that. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, yes it is. I've got 270 bonus health. So that's quite a bit. And it means it's a lot harder for Darius to burst me down. Or not Darius, a lot harder for Garen to burst me down and kill me. Anyway, I'm playing very defensively. We do not have any wards on the map right now. Anyway, up here, bottom lane is well warded, but like we don't have any wards at Dragon, we don't have any wards at Baron. They have free run to go take that Dragon if they want. So I have no idea where their jungle Xinjiao is. I'm worried that if I run out here and try to farm these minions, that Xinjiao will be like right here and he'll just come out behind me and I'll be dead. So I'm playing very defensively, just trying to stay in range to get experience on the creeps in the back. And that's kind of how you have to play. By the way, yeah, there's smite. I didn't want to walk up and last hit that creep, so I just smited it. So anyway, this lane is slowly pushing towards my side, in part because Garen is well, he's hitting the minions, and that's pushing the wave. But yeah, there we go. And there's Feast to get another minion. So just really defensively, that's all that I can really do. Anyway, our blue is back up. Hopefully we can make a play for that. Here comes Xinjiao. Now I have to hit a good defensive rupture, and I do. That gets me out of that. Now we know their jungler is not in bottom. So here comes Hilariously. Let's see if our bottom lane can make a play right here. Right now, we've got a fight being engaged in bottom lane. MF has popped her ultimate. There is really good damage. Down goes Blitzcrank. Thresh, I don't know how low he is. I'm not sure where Elmo is. But they've got three. Actually, they've got three down here, and they're going to be able to get a push on this tower. If they can get that tower, that would be really good news for us, because we can really use that global gold to just keep us in it. So there we go. We do manage to take that tower, and actually, we actually get the first tower of the game, even though we're missing Darius, so that's a nice sign. Anyway, I've got enough levels now. By the way, as you level up, you get more from Cho's Carnivore passive. More levels will increase the amount of health and mana you get back, so he's really good at 1v2. By the way, they stole our blue yet again. I went to check on it, and yep, unfortunately, just no jungle control. Can't do anything about that. Very sad, but that's the case sometimes. Anyway, so I've gotten enough levels, and I've got enough feast stacks that now I am in a situation where it's much harder for them to dive and kill me under a tower. I should have used a feast there as well. Want to get up to 6 feast stacks as soon as possible. You also will slowly close the level gap. Before, Garen was 2 levels ahead. Now I believe he's only 1 level. Now he's 1 level ahead because I just hit 10 and he's 11. So you will eventually slowly catch up in experience, just because each level costs more than the next to level up. I have been doing, the funny thing is, I've still been doing a Jungle Cho build. That's because I was halfway through a Jungle Cho build, and I couldn't kind of break that off halfway. So note, maxing the Vorpal spikes. Yeah, I mean, you can do this for laning Cho too, actually. It gives you a really good wave clear, but traditionally a laning Cho will max the Feral Scream first to increase the silence duration, and because it's a very reliable skill shot in terms of damage. Anyway, though, I was like halfway through the Jungle Cho build, so I was like, alright, I'll just stick with it for right now. So here's the Shurelya's. Again, the Shurelya's is to close distance with the enemy, the ability to get close to them, get red buff, pop Shurelya's, and run really close to them. The mobility boots are the same thing. Movement gives you all that movement speed. Really good for junglers because they're running around the map a lot, so it allows you to get from lane to lane. Not nearly so useful in lane, but when I'm out of combat, I do have a really good way of engaging. I've got just really fast movement speed, and then I can pop the Shurelya's for more of an engage as well. Anyway, note that now, wow, that was a terrible rupture. Note that now that I've got more points in these skills, I'm actually able to start trading effectively with Garen. Garen has just gone straight Warmogs. Again, I do not think that was a very good build on Garen. I don't think that he needs to rush Warmogs. I mean, it's not terrible, but he would have done better to get a little bit more damage. Anyway, there's another fight in bottom lane. Let's keep an eye on this. A nice MF ult will take down Blitzcrank. There is the box coming out from Thresh. A stun, though, comes out from Taric. Nicely done. Now Jump is able to get 1 kill, and that's going to be it, I think. So 2 for 1 in our favor, even though it was a 3 for 2 lane, and their jungler, Jungle Shin, has come over to cover mid. So we're doing a good job. We're actually ahead 7 to 4 in kills right now. Although, unfortunately, yeah, it looks like Anivia was able to slip in and polish that off. Maybe. Well, anyway, Jum was still doing a really good job. To be honest, if we went 2 for 2 in that in bottom lane, that was still a pretty good result. Anyway, there's a fight going on here. Hilariously is low. There's that hard engage coming out. And, oh, is he going to get the kill? No, I don't think so. Here comes Anivia. There is the wall. Crystallize is still only rank 1, though. And it looks like Hilariously will escape in the middle lane. Meanwhile, in top, I'm just still farming, still trying to, you know, catch up to Garen. He is only 1 level ahead. And by the way, check out the farm. I'm actually slightly ahead in minion kills right now, 106 to 103. Garen should be further ahead than he is in this lane. Meanwhile, though, they are putting pressure on in middle lane. There's 3 of them there mid, and oh, that's a grab. Nicely played. Very well done by K-Hop. He pulls in that grab and gets it. Anyway, we're still fighting here in the top lane. Again, as long as I can hit my skills, you know, these Vorpal spikes are doing a lot of damage on every auto attack. 80 extra magic damage. So, I mean, if you check our health, I'm at what? 1500. Garen is he's at 1200, so I am kind of winning this, and like I just have to make sure I don't fight him while he's spinning and just step away and then go back in. And again, he keeps getting hit by the Vorpal spikes, so that's important too for preventing Garen's passive from giving him the health regen. I wish I could pull that up to show you guys, but Garen's passive, if you don't know, does give him really high health regen when he's out of combat, and I keep hitting him with my Vorpal spikes to stop that. So I've got him pretty low. I mean, if I had Ignite up right now, I could easily kill him. Without Ignite, it's a little bit harder. But there we go. There's the feast. He's going to flash. I'm going to disengage under the tower. And then Garen makes a mistake. He's going to recall here. He should have just backed off. So watch. There's the rupture. He's going to try to dodge it, but he can't. There's the Feral Scream. Auto attack. And then I'm going to flash out. I probably did not need to flash there. I still had like 600 to 700 health yet left, but hey, let's face it, it looked pretty cool, so I'm not too upset, but that was a bit of a wasted flash. So Garen misplaying the lane, he just allowed himself to get harassed down, did not have enough damage because he was 100% tank, and I was able to win that 1v1 despite not having Ignite. Garen did have Ignite, but I don't think he used it there. And oh, by the way, he's already gotten another Giant's Belt. He really should not be 100% tank. You need to be able to do some damage in a fight to be able to make yourself useful. As Cho, I have crowd control and I have my Feast. You know, my Feast deals true damage. I always have the Rupture and the Feral Scream. Plus the Vorpal Spikes, you know, deal pretty decent damage on their own. So you can't just build 100% pure tank. You need something that, you know, they're going to have to deal with as a threat. By the way, we also, okay, so Jungle Shin is up here, J-Fluent's up here. What does that mean? He's not down in bottom lane. That means we are free to take Dragon, and our team does an excellent job of doing that. Wow, there's a grab. That's not good. And there's going to be a stun. Let's see, our team looks like they're turning this around. Are they going to disengage? There's the Lux ult. How low is Blitzcrank? I have no idea, but presumably he's pretty low because he's running away. There's the MF ultimate. Will it get the kill? No. Apparently was out of range. So more fighting coming in. Here's Garen. And Elmo's going to get a kill on Misfortune, on Jump. Now Snatch is going to get snatched here, and that's a double kill for Thresh. So that is not what we were looking to do right there. But we did at least get Dragon, so if it's 2 kills for Dragon, that's probably okay. Anyway, I see that they're heading down to mid lane, so I'm going to rotate down to try to deal with that. I've pushed out lane and top. I want to try to hold this tower. It's very low. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but just going to try to do my best. The longer we can keep these towers up, the better. There is the Rupture and the Feral Scream. They are going to use Anivia, Flash Frost on me and Frostbite, but again, I mean, I'm Cho, I'm pretty tanky, so I do have almost 3,000 health, so even though they did that pretty well, not in that much danger. Unfortunately, I missed the Rupture. We might have been able to turn that around and get a kill. Unfortunately, though, I had to leave top lane. This is the sad part about playing 4v5, and so J-Fluent's going to do his job. He will take that tower in top. And meanwhile, Thresh went ahead and took the tower in bot. So, unfortunately for us, they were able to get all 3 outer towers in a very quick span there. And that is not a good sign because it'll open up our jungle to further invasions. The one good thing is we actually do have a chance to get our blue buff. This is actually the first blue we have a chance to get all game because they stole the initial one and then they stole the second and third blues. So I want to give this to Hilarious Lee. Lux is much, much stronger when she has blue. She is runs out of mana quickly and she needs the cooldown reduction. So there we go. Hilarious Lee's got his Athenes, and presumably he'll be getting some more AP from there. Anyway, Garen is running around down here in bot. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing here. They're not really going to be able to push this lane. In the meantime, I'm going to continue farming, continue getting stronger. In terms of itemization, my next item is Aegis into Runic Bulwark. It's just a great item on Cho. He's always going to be in the middle of the team, providing that aura. It gives him armor, health regen, magic resist, and it gives that to the team as well. Definitely what we need for this particular game. So anyway, I've shoved out top. Now I have to come over to cover mid. They're pushing forward very aggressively, and Hilarious Lee's going to get caught here, and oh, I get walled off. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to be a little bit late in getting to the party here, but I am going to be able to come and try to trap Anivia right here. There's her Glacial Storm and her Flash Frost. There is the Rupture, a nice juke by Anivia right there, but now our team is circling around, so I want to force this fight. We have all 4 members of our team here as we attempt to reconnect, and right there, Hilariously is going to hit on his binding. I will get the knockup. Meanwhile, in comes Thresh, in comes Blitzcrank. We want to first kill Anivia, so we're going to do that. MF gets the kill. That's good for us. Now we want to look to turn and continue this fight. I'm a bit low, but everybody else is good. That means we have a great chance to try and get this tower. Late binding will miss. There is the Thresh pull, but, you know, he did pull Cho, so it's not that scary. And we're just going to keep beating on this tower because we think we have the advantage. In comes Garen, but Blitzcrank is quite low. There is a Rupture knocking somebody up into the air. We are currently on Garen. He's quite low, but we don't want to get too aggressive about diving this. In comes Xinjiao, and it looks like we're going to have another big fight right here. I need to hit a Rupture. There we go. Pretty good Rupture. Rupture and Flash to disengage. There's the Lux Laser. We'll pick off Garen. Well played, Hilarious Lee. He is going to hit another light binding, but That is going to be going to get him pulled. He will pick up the kill on Blitzcrank. Right now, though, MF is going in and dueling. I need to turn around to support her, even though I'm low. Down goes Xinjiao. Elmo is the only one left. He has been exhausted. We're going to pick that up. In comes IDK, what LOL means. And now we're going to have to deal with this. Again, my goal is to protect Miss Fortune. I'm going to use the Rupture to push Anivia away. Jum does have double buff right here. Anivia's in the brush. I don't want to face check that, so I'm going to turn to get out of here. But then Anivia flashes in. She's going to use the Glacial Storm and the Flash and the Frostbite, and she will get the kill on me. But 1-for-1 there. We got a kill on MF, and she burned, and Anivia burned Flash. That's to our advantage right there. So I don't know exactly how that all went down. That was a lot of kills. The key thing there is MF has 10 kills. Miss Fortune's 10-2 right now. So that is very good news for us. She just straight bought a Static Shiv on that trip back, and a Ruby Crystal too. So MF's getting very close to that Black Cleaver. So this is what we're leaning on right now. Jum 931, 10-2. Is basically tied for most minion kills in the game, and their team does not scale well into late game because they do not have a true AD carry. They, they have Thresh, who, I mean, yeah, he has Bloodthirster, Sword of the Divine, but he does not have the same kind of AD scaling that Miss Fortune does. So if we play carefully, we've got a chance to do this. We have to be very careful, though. It helps when we get people caught out of position like this. Garen, right there, out of position. Garen is straight tanked. By the way, look at what he's building. He is building Warmog's Sunfire Cape. That's not a great build for Garen. He's going to burn his Flash right there. So we will take that, and we'll be happy with getting that for a relatively straightforward engage. Anyway, Taric has the Aegis. I have the Runic Bulwark. That means that we will be able to combine those auras. The way that this works, people are always confused about this, is if you have a Runic Bulwark or an Aegis, you get all the stat benefits, and you can get the benefit from someone else too. You can get the aura benefit from someone else. Now, that you can only get it twice. Like, if you don't have an Aegis, then you don't get double Aegis benefits. But if you do have an Aegis, you can also get the aura benefit from someone else. So I will get the Runic Bulwark benefits. Again, I'll highlight this. Health, Armor, Magic Resist. Grants another 10 armor, 30 MR, and 10 health regen. I can get that 10 armor, 30 magic resist, and 10 health regen if I'm near Taric. Like, that's what I can get. So as long as we're close to each other, we will be, giving each other this aura, and that will make us a lot stronger. So keep an eye on these numbers down here. When I get to Taric, they should go up with, should get another 10 armor and like another 10 to 15 MR, and more health regen too, but you can't see that on the interface. Anyway, so I'm starting to, I'm pretty happy with my position. I'm pretty strong right now. By the way, I don't know why the ground looks so weird over here by Dragon. It looks like it's all black soil or something. It looks like Heroes of Newerth ground over here. Anyway, though, so we've got a Dragon fight going on here. It's 4v5. We got to be careful. That's a pretty good Anivia wall, so we have to be very careful about how we do this engage. Didn't really like MF being over there either. Should probably be over here where I can protect her, where Taric and I can protect each other. Oh, and by the way, there's Armor and MR, again, getting that aura. There's the Aegis aura coming in from Taric. Now, why do we do this? Well, we see Garen's top. Garen shouldn't be top. He should be with the team. So that means we're safe to come and fight, because it'll be 4v4 instead of 5v4. Anyway, Taric's going to get pulled, but that's not a bad sign for an engagement. Right here, I see that Xinjiao goes on to MF, so I'm going to turn around and protect her. I'm going to use my Feast on Xinjiao, and that's going to allow MF to stay alive. I mean, she was probably okay anyway, but going to use the Feast on Dragon, and my job in these team fights is keep MF protected. Use my Rupture, use my Feral Screen, keep her safe in these fights. So their team, a little bit out of position. They could have fought 5v4. They could have forced that Dragon. They did not, because Garen was off in top lane, and he left top lane way too early, too. He actually could have gotten a lot of damage on this tower. So if he wasn't going to be a Dragon, he should have made sure that he was getting a lot of damage there. Anyway, here in mid, there's another fight going on. Anivia has that awesome wave clear. Glacial Storm will clear the minion wave really fast. So I don't think we're going to be able to get that tower on this particular push. But again, we got another kill on Miss Fortune as she jerks around the map in this sort of bizarre non-spectator mode replay. I was able to use my Feast to pick up Dragon. So we got a Dragon, we got a kill. We pushed back their split push in top, and we got a little damage on their mid tower. So that was a good sign for us. Darius, man, you good? Still chilling at the fountain. Okay. Well, Darius is still missing in action right now, unfortunately. But we're doing okay. We're doing okay 4v5. Now, that was a missed Rupture. Again, against somebody like Xinjiao who dives on top of you, you actually have to Rupture yourself By the way, I'm going to pop Shirelius there just to make sure they don't engage on me. Against somebody who has that hard of an engage, you rupture on yourself, and that's how to make sure that you get safely out of a bad situation. So just an FYI, I messed it up there. You actually want to use it where you're standing because that's where he will charge to. Okay, I have a chance to go back and buy. Note that I'm right at 1,500 gold. I want to pick up a Glacial Shroud. Great item on Cho, has been a core part of the Cho'gath build for ages and ages. Mana, armor, cooldown reduction, builds into Frozen Heart. Also works well against their team. Note their team, Thresh is AD, Garen is AD, Xinjiao is AD. Anivia, of course, deals magic damage, but she really doesn't have much in the way of ability power yet. She will in time. So if I'm itemizing, it's better for me to stack armor right now. Okay, so their team is pushing mid. Here they are. There's 4 of them there. Do they have 5 or 4? Can't tell because of the spectator mode, but I'm going to come in here. Again, I have those mobility boots, so I run fast. Movement speed 466. Shirelius is about to cool down, so we can force a fight here. At least if I can avoid getting stunned by Anivia. Anyway, we're going to look. We want to try, and look, right here, MF is getting targeted again, so I'm going to turn around and try to deal with that. There's the Rupture, knocking them up in the air to set up MF's ultimate. Now, again, I'm trying to get back here to protect her. She's going to get the first kill on Xinjiao. Now we'll turn and deal with Thresh. He's the one we want to go after. There's a Rupture. I'm going to use my Feast. I'm going to finish off Blitzcrank. I will get Garen ulted, but that's good. We want them to Garen ult me. That means that they're hitting the tank, and that means our key damage dealers, Lux and Misfortune, are still alive. So it turns into a great fight for us, 4v1. We're not quite able to get Anivia, but we can push on this, and we'll be able to get damage on this mid tower and potentially take it. So again, number 1 goal, protect Misfortune in these team fights. Xinjiao is doing 100% the right thing. Nice dodge from IDK What Law means there again, dodging that particular light binding from Lux. Really nicely done. By the way, Tarek, nice job to ward Baron too. He took this time to go ward Baron. We didn't need him to kill that mid tower, so nicely done there. Again, the key thing was, as I said before, keep MF alive in every fight. Xinjiao is just diving on MF. I am trying to put a Rupture on top of Misfortune to knock Xinjiao up in the air. I've been trying to use my Feast on whoever's trying to kill her. I actually feasted Blitzcrank on that time because I could see I was about to die, and I wanted to make sure I got my ult off before I went down in that fight. So I would get in that, 650 true damage. Wanted to make sure I got that damage in. Now, because I died, I'm going to have to replace those Feast stacks. I'm down to just 3 Feast stacks, but what I really should do is I should have feasted this wolf, and I forgot to do that. I actually realized, like, right now, oh, I really should have feasted one of those. So I want to get back up to 6 stacks so I can continue tanking for the team. Anyway, I'm building towards Frozen Heart. 181 armor, 139 magic resist. Again, that's why Bulwark is such a nice item. You get Bulwark and something like either Randuin's or Glacial Shroud, and all of a sudden you're really, really tanky as Cho'gath. By the way, there's the... I'm going to feast the little Wraith. Should have feasted the big Wraith, I guess. Oh well, just feasted the little one. Anyway, so Cho's ult gives him extra health, so you don't need to stack that much health on Cho'gath. You want to get a lot of armor and magic resist, so one reason why Bulwark / Aegis is such a good item on him. Does Tarek now also have a Bulwark finish? No, he has left it at Aegis, and that's fine, because we will still, again, as I said, be able to share that aura when we're next to one another. Okay, we have no idea where their team is right now, but Dragon is not up. We know that Dragon is on, well, cooldown for the moment, if that makes sense. We know they're not at Baron. We've got ward coverage at Baron, so I'm going to go ahead and push this top lane while the rest of the team holds mid. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and grab that. For the moment, I'm hoping that if we can avoid getting engaged on mid, that I can just, split push top a little bit. However, that doesn't actually work out. Right here, Blitzcrank's going to pop his overdrive, and now he's going to get ready for a pull. He's going to flash pull, and he's actually going to grab Snatch right here. There is the Lux and MF ults, though, and wow, that just did a lot of damage. So we're going to try to extract ourselves from this, but Xinjiao has already gone down. That really well set up Lux and MF ults. Meanwhile, Garen is low. Oh, he's going to fall to that Lux Ignite. Meanwhile, MF is low, and our team is winning this fight without me there. This is actually a 5-on-3, but the 3 are beating the 5. And that exhaust, is it going to be enough to take down MF? Yes, it will. Down goes Tarek. It's still a 4-for-2. And now here I come into the fight, popping Shirelius. I want to go ahead. There's the silence. I'm going to miss the Rupture, but it will force Anivia to run this way. That's fine with me. Good wall, actually, onto Lux. But there's the laser. That's going to be enough to put Anivia into her egg form. Watch this. I'm going to wait for the rebirth. And right now, I'm going to use the Rupture right when she comes out. There is the silence. So she can't flash. Well, she actually had already used flash, but would not be able to flash. And then I'm going to use the Feast to make sure we get the kill and max out my Feast stacks. now at 6 stacks. So great fight. We went 5 for 2 in that fight. I was a little late getting into the fight. I was hoping that we would be able to avoid getting engaged upon, but we really turned that around extremely well. Their team kind of all walked into a Lux and a Misfortune ult, and they took the full damage from both of them. And both Lux and Misfortune are getting to be very, very strong. Lux has, what is it, Unholy Grail and Deathcap. Misfortune has, Misfortune has a 5-item build, getting towards a 6-item build, and 14 kills in this particular match. So Jum 931 is just playing a beastly Misfortune in this particular game. And that's where not having a true AD on their side in the form of Thresh is really hurting them. It just doesn't have that same scaling. It doesn't really have that AD scaling. Anyway, they weren't protecting their red buff, so I went in and took that. Red is not bad on Cho at all. It's actually pretty good on him. So now I'm going to try to disengage here. And I'm sitting on quite a bit of gold, so I really would like to go back and buy before we have another engagement. But Dragon's up, Baron's up. We've got a word at Baron. We've got a word at Dragon. Their team is not really in position to take this, so if we're fast, we can go in, slip in, and claim this dragon. Let's see if we can do that, shall we? It's going down, and I do have the feast up, but it's not going to be needed. I did not have smite off cooldown, but I did have the feast. So anyway, we're going to take that, and now the focus will shift to Baron. Who is going to be able to take this particular Baron? That will be the key thing. We've been too low at the end of these last couple fights to take Baron. So we're going to have to wait for a more clear-cut win in a fight to be able to do that. In terms of kills, we're actually ahead just about 2-1, 24-13. We're probably ahead in the global gold as well. But, of course, it is a 4v5, so we have to be very careful about what we do. Anyway, I finished Frozen Heart, Armor, Mana, cooldown reduction, and that passive aura that reduces attack speed. That's very important, particularly for Xin Zhao and for Thresh. Useful for trying to counter that sort of the divine burst, that kind of thing. And I also grabbed a Warden's Mail because I wanted more armor, and again, I wanted more attack speed reduction. Anyway, not a particularly great rupture. I hit Garen there, but I mean, I'm happy to just sort of sit in the middle of the enemy team and just tank their damage. I am extremely tanky. I have 3,600 health. I have 300 armor. Most of their damage is physical, everyone other than Anivia. And so, I mean, if they focus me, they're just not going to do that much. Anyway, there's the Shirellia. I try to pop for the movement speed, but Anivia does a good job of walling me off and stunning me. Still, we have separated their formation. I've managed to split Anivia off from the rest of the team. Down here, Thresh and Blitzcrank are fighting. I'm going to try to turn around and come back into this. Unfortunately, now we lose MF, and that's my fault. Here I am going to try to come into the backside of this, so we're going to have to rely on Lux right now. Lux is going to get pulled, and so now I need to rupture. There we go. There is the knockup. Now I need to get the feast. I'm going to take out Blitzcrank just to get rid of another one of them. Now we need to kite this team. We need to have Lux just keep running backwards and binding people. That is a nice wall from Anivia. So now I'm going to turn and deal with Xin Zhao. We're going to get him. Taric will pick up that kill. Down here, Hilariously is still running. He is going to try to get back in the fight. They kind of lost focus on him. Lux already back up off of cooldown. So we're going to pick off Garen right there, and now we're still chasing Anivia. She's doing a good job of slowing us, but again, do have that red buff, so all we have to do is get one stun. If Taric can get a stun, there we go. There's the stun. I got to follow that up with a rupture, late binding hits, and there's nothing Anivia can do. So we're going to win that fight, and we actually go 5 for 1 in that fight, even though I did not do a good job of protecting Misfortune there. So we've got about 10 seconds, and at this point, it's like, just screw it. We can just tank this tower. I am Cho. I have 300 armor. Lux can shield me with her, I think it's called Prismatic Barrier, if I remember the name of the skill right. So we're just going to sit here and tank this tower and get as much damage on it as we can. Their team is starting to revive, and now we need to get out of here, but we have gotten most of the tower. I missed the rupture, but out comes the Shirelias. And Shirelias should give us enough movement speed to disengage. So we actually are going to get a little more damage on their base. That tower is on 100 health. Now we need to clear side lanes. This lane is pushing down here. And we really just have to be worried about them rushing Baron. That is the danger right now. So we have to hurry. I'm going to rush back. I'm going to buy Home Guard boots so I can get back onto the field quickly. If I remember this correctly, I think I went for the Home Guard boots here. Let's see. Yep, there they are. I thought I remembered that. So, yep, there we go. And I have 800 movement speed while I have them, because I need to get here quickly. We need to make sure they're not doing Baron. See, there comes the pings. But as it turns out, their team did not rush Baron. And that really is the play they should have gone for in that situation. They were starting to lose the team fights. They're falling increasingly further behind in this game. That would have been a good situation to try and make a play at Baron. I mean, it would have been risky, but I think they could have made a play there. In any case, though, they chose not to go for that. And we were able to get out of sort of that one moment of being vulnerable. Anyway, right here, our team is still around mid, so this is not the worst time to force a fight. And I'm Cho. Like, I typically play supports where I have to be sort of very careful not to get engaged upon, but it's like, hey, I'm Cho. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to walk into the middle of your team, and I'm just going to go ahead and fight you. And note that their team has gotten split once again. That's good. They run off to the sides. Oh, hello, Blitzcrank. And right there, I'm going to hit the knockup, and then out comes the Taric stun into the light binding. And actually that Lux laser is going to miss, but the MF ult's going to come out and deal some good damage. And even though we didn't kill anyone there, we've done a good job of forcing them away from this tower. By the way, that's a poor rupture. It's not going to hit anything. But we managed to get the tower, and now their team's going to have to heal, and that's going to clean us up to get this inhibitor. So even though we didn't burst anyone down right there, we were still able to get our objective. We got mid tower, and we got an inhibitor. So that was... well, I mean, not exactly what we wanted. Ideal would have been killing them, but it still puts us in a good position right now. Anyway, there is also a big minion wave pushing down here in bottom lane. Misfortune Taric are going to come down here and keep an eye on this. By the way, their blue has just spawned, and I believe that they're going to take that. They really should take that. Nope, okay. Oh, no, yep, there it is. Yeah, they really should take that. So we just need to run a little bit of distraction over here in the mid. Lux is going to... oh, Lux tried to take it with laser, but MF actually ended up getting it. That's what that was about. Okay, so this bottom lane is pushing. That means that we don't have to worry about this. They're going to have to send someone to deal with that bottom lane right there. We managed to catch Blitzcrank in a light binding. Taric is going to flash after, but see, MF's back at base. We do not want to force a fight right there. That's why I was giving the retreat ping. I was like, hey, our main damage dealer isn't here. We don't want to do this. Anyway, their red is up. We can go ahead and make a play for that. See, MF is saying just peel for me. She's absolutely right. Misfortune's on a 6-item build. She is maxed out. We just need to keep her safe. And then we notice this. Look, they have 2 people in bottom lane, including their jungler, Xinjiao. He's in bottom lane. They do not need to have 2 people bot. This is a mistake on their part to have 2 people in bottom lane. So we are going to look at this, and we're going to make a play for Baron, because, again, too many people in bottom lane. When Baron's up, you almost never want to send 2 people to bot. 1 person is all you need. So again, this is not entirely safe. We do not have a pink ward here. We, they probably do have vision of this. We don't know for sure, but like here they are. We can see them coming. They're running towards Baron. So that means I'm going to have to do a good job making sure we get this. What I want to do is I want to use Feast when it gets to like 2,000 and then smite it, and there we go. I actually was able to get that. I mean, they were coming in, but I was able to get that. So we do take the Baron, and now we've got a little team fight here going on. Once again, look, MF is being engaged upon by Xinjiao, so I'm going to break off, come back here to protect her. Lux is going to do the same thing. The light binding is going to miss, but I will hit on the rupture. A good wall from Anivia, but we are going to manage to take down Xinjiao. He will go down first. Now we need to, again, turn and kill the people that are going after Misfortune. Next, we're going to get Garen. Now we want to turn and deal with Thresh because he is their biggest damage dealer remaining. Right there, we're going to be able to pick that off. Hilariously, goes very low, but he's not going to die. And MF's now going to pick off the kill onto Blitzcrank there. So we did lose Taric, but again, that was a 4-for-1 in that particular fight. And what we really should have done here is Anivia's the only one up. We really should have just pushed mid, and we could have won the game off of this. For some reason, I was thinking we had to be more careful. So I went here to clear top lane. This was a mistake in retrospect. Didn't realize we had this big wave of super creeps pushing. But that was a mistake. If we had all gone mid here, we would have won the game. As it is, Misfortune's the only one mid, and she's still going to get 1 tower. Now she's going to come back mid and continue going after the second Nexus turret, and it's going down very fast. MF on a 6-item build. So if we had just all run mid, we would have gotten that. We would have just ended the game right there. And I realized that when I was over here in this lane. I was like, oh, you know what? That really was a mistake. We should have just all gone mid, and we would have ended the game there for sure, because the death timers are fairly long. I mean, they're all up now, but we certainly would have had enough damage there. Anyway, the good news is we did take out their Nexus turrets. That means that we only do need to push to win. And they have no protection for their base. Nothing protecting the Nexus. If we group as 4 with Baron, we should be able to finish that off. So we're all going to group. We'll go back and buy, and then just group and push straight up mid. We don't need to worry about Dragon. We don't need to worry about anything else. We can just push straight up mid and finish this one off. What am I going to build here? I finally sold the Hunter's Machete after all this time. I'm going to use that to buy... well, back in the day, I would have bought Wit's End here, but Spreakaway suggested that I buy a different item. Then that item is, wait for it, Zephyr. Yes, Zephyr. Basically a replacement for Wit's End. Attack damage, attack speed, movement speed, cooldown reduction, and the Tenacity passive. The tenacity is very nice because on mobility boots, I of course do not have that tenacity. So agree that this was a good buy, and that will cap CDR at the max 20%. And it even gives me a little bit of AD and attack speed. So people used to use Wit's End for this role, gives you the attack speed and magic resistance, but that item's been nerfed very heavily. And Zephyr feels like a good replacement for that. So anyway, MF was grabbing red buff. She now has it. We are almost ridiculously tanky at this point. There's, again, that 300 armor and the 3,700 health. So, again, there's no towers protecting. We just need to walk into the base and kill this Nexus. So, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put my big fat Cho behind in the middle of their team. Keep myself in front of the rest of the champions so that if they want to throw out a Blitzcrank pull or something, that they're going to hit me. Again, there's no towers here. It's kind of weird, right? You always think of the Nexus towers being here, but they're not. There is a great MF ult into a Lux ultimate. That will be 1 kill. Xin Zhao goes down before he can do his damage. Instead, now the focus is going to turn and shift. MF's going to go after Garen. She is going to polish that off. Meanwhile, I'm going to come down here. Taric stun sets up my Rupture. There's the Feast. That will finish off that kill. And that's a 4 for 0. There's no Nexus towers left. So this is just cakewalk finishing this off. Or it would be, but the inhibitor respawned. We have to kill the inhib first. Now we can target the Nexus, and now we can finish off this game. And Darius, your help was not required, buddy, because we're going to go ahead and get this one regardless. Oh, get the knock up, but we're not going to finish that off. As the lights go off across Summoner's Rift, it gets dark, and the enemy Nexus goes down. Anyway, so that turned into an interesting game. This was the case of the disappearing Darius. But we were able to win this one 4v5. Now, I do feel obligated to mention that the game immediately before this one was another 4v5, where I was on the team of 4. We had a 4v5 for the first 20 minutes. Then their disconnected player came back, and it was a 5v5. And even though our team was really far ahead, we still ended up losing the game, even though we had been 5v4 for the first 20 minutes. So that was super depressing. And then it was immediately followed up by this game, where we were 4v5 and won the game. So this was the night of the 4v5 team winning over and over again. It happened twice in one night. Really, really strange. But anyway, I thought this was an interesting game, a memorable game, a good chance to show off some Jungle Cho gameplay, and just show off an interesting game. So anyway, hope you guys like this. Anyway, I'll try to have something up for the new patch changes tomorrow. In the meantime, take care, have a great week. See you guys again soon.